discussions, environmental issues, fun and lighthearted topics, guest interviews. Cayman, basically anything you want to talk about, we are ready to listen. Here's your guest host.
Coming up next and Talk Today, we want to hear from you. It's open line. Let us know what's on your mind. Stay with me.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
Talk Today is also brought to you by Mike's Builders. Call 923-0706. Mike Builders. They make it happen. Talk Today is reminding you
to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990. 949-8037 or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
And now, back to Talk Today.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Monday edition of Talk Today. I'm your guest host, Charles Glidden. If you want to chat, well, we can certainly do that. You just heard the numbers to call there, and you can tell us what's on your mind. Tell us what you think about what's going on in our community. It's not a particularly good start to the week for a lot of people in the community, those of us in the media community who know and have worked with Andrel Harris, people in the wider community also, because he was well known. This was a talented TV journalist, a well-known and well-liked young man, and from what I know of him, a principled and ethical person. And it's certainly not a good Monday, particularly for the family of Andrel Harris. The police have announced that the search has now transitioned from rescue to recovery. So that's the thing about these types of situations. The more time goes on, the more hope fades. So our hearts go out to Andrel's family. I know they must be having a very tough time now. Now, we still don't know what happened here. Still a mystery. We do know that the search is concentrated on the sea, but no idea what the circumstances are that led to Andrel's disappearance. We do know that rumors are rife. All kind of theories abound. Someone was just popped into the studio here and was telling me some of the things that he had heard. Was a range of possible things that people are coming up with that has led to the disappearance of Andrel. But rumors are rumors, and when something like this happens, you're going to get a lot of them. But we still don't know what happened. For whatever reason, my mind, and I know the mind of other people that I have talked to, segues to mental health when something like this happens. And to be clear, I'm not implying anything here. I'm not offering any theories on this incident. I'm just saying it sets my mind to thinking about mental health in the Cayman Islands, which is probably much more prevalent than many of us believe it is. A lot of us see it in our families. I have relatives, distant and close. We never fully understand what is happening in another person's life. Their mindset, the pressures that they're dealing with, that might push them over the line. And sometimes the person you think that is the most stable just might be the closest to the brink of going over that edge. But they put up a good front. They get to work on time. They do their job, but they're having a tough time. And mental health, it's not what people might describe as madness. It's not the person is raging. Mental health comes in a lot of varying degrees. Just something that, ranging from a simple you have a little depression or that you go through now and then, to serious depression, to bipolar problems. People who have schizophrenia. It's not always evident. And a lot of people are dealing with this in our society today. And there are places they can go to get help, of course. And I guess that's why we are more aware of it now. I know a year ago, this is June. I think pretty much a year, yeah. A relative of mine passed away at the hospital. And that had its surrounding issues, alcoholism. And when that person passed, my wife and I were there 3 o'clock in the morning, and we started talking to a nurse there. And the nurse said to us, I don't know what's going on out there in the community. I don't know what's going on out there, but we're getting a lot of young people coming in here with attempted suicide. And that stuck with me, that a nurse would have that observation, seeing more than usual of what, and this was a experienced RN, that she was seeing more than usual the number of young people coming in having attempted suicide. And what is going on? I want to get some people in here, some experts, people who work in this field, to talk about this. I'm going to work on putting that together, because I think it's an important issue in the community that is not given the full recognition. I know, if you look back in news and such, you will see stories from 2023 that people were talking about a crisis. 2 years later, has it improved? Certainly not from last year, June, from what that nurse was saying. And it may not be something that is, unique to us in Cayman. It might be something worldwide. Influences of social media. I've heard of incidences where, people expressing certain things about themselves on social media, and then they are encouraged to commit suicide. How anyone could be so crass to do that, I don't know. But it happens. We know it happens. People, they're on the edge and they're pushed. It's time for me to take a break. I'll be right back.
This summer, choose from 10 international destinations for your vacation with Cayman Airways. Explore New York, discover Denver, roam Los Angeles, play in Tampa, shop in Miami, tour Panama, uncover Havana, hike in La Ceiba, jam in Kingston, or relax in Montego Bay. Connecting flights are also available from the sister islands. Cayman Airways offers more international non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline, and the lowest rates for checked bags. Book today at CaymanAirways.com, download our new mobile app, or call Cayman Airways reservations on 949-2311. Come fly with us and relax with your uniquely Caymanian airline.
Subway and Oreo has changed the dessert game. Introducing the Oreo footlong cookie, a full 12 inches of chocolatey, creamy goodness. It's big, it's bold, and it's here for a limited time. Perfect for sharing or not. We won't judge. Want it fast? Order ahead with the Subway Cayman Islands app for quick pickup and earn loyalty points. Or get it delivered straight to your door with Bento and Let's Eat. Don't wait. Treat yourself today. The Oreo footlong cookie is calling your name. Subway. Eat fresh. Snack sweet. Looking to transform your space? From custom homes to commercial spaces, we bring your vision to life with precision, quality, and elegance. At Mike's Builders, we make it happen.
Mike's Builders turned my dream home into a reality. Their team is professional, efficient, and truly the best in the business. Good communication? Check. Cleanliness? Check. Professionalism? On point. You have to try Mike's Builders for yourself.
Call us today at 923-0706. That's 923-0706. Mike's Builders. Let's build a beautiful world together.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Protect your computers and mobile devices with security software to defend against cyber attacks through viruses, malware, and other online threats. Be aware of unsecure Wi-Fi connections when in public. If you need to access your online banking or sensitive information on your mobile devices, try disabling the Wi-Fi and switching to data from your mobile network. If you suspect a fraud attempt, please contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back. If you want to get in on some conversation here, the numbers to call 1-800-534-8255. That's all compliments of flow. You can also call 949-6990 or WhatsApp. Give us a call, send us a message, 925-3261. That's the WhatsApp. And I was talking about mental health here in Cayman, and just a few days ago, well, actually on the 4th of June, Daphne Ewing Chow did an article in the Compass. The headline was "Media Urged to Consider Its Role in Destigmatizing Mental Health." And it was interesting to read that article, which was organized, it was a workshop organized by the Alex Panton Foundation. And it talks about Rhonda Kelly, who lost her child at the age of 16 in 2022. And she was talking about the comments that will follow certain articles of online news organizations or in social media, and how while there were comments of sympathy and empathy, but there were also insensitive comments. And people just not knowing really what they were talking about and taking this really insensitive approach, saying parents can do better, and not even knowing what the situation is, passing judgment. And she made the point of these things stay up on the internet basically forever, unless someone actually goes in and takes them down. And, when you comment on these kind of things, you have to use a little bit, or totally use your feelings as another human being is hurting. The pain that is caused by losing a loved one to suicide. And some people, when they hide behind, a computer screen, they seem to lose their senses and just write all sorts of things that is hurtful, that are lies, just making people who are already hurting feel even worse. So this workshop that they had, it focused on the media's responsibility to foster empathy, accuracy, and compassion in mental health coverage, not only through reporting but also in how public engagement is managed. Participants were asked to consider their reporting styles and comment moderation, the headlines, the framing, and the comment sections that can either offer comfort or inflict harm. And mental health, like I was talking about before, sometimes, it's not that bad, that serious, but I've seen up close how the mental health of a relative, a family member, can weigh heavily on the rest of the family. The person who is going through it, the person who is going through this mental health issue, they are suffering, even though maybe in their mind they're not. They think that the things that they're doing are okay, are logical, and they can always come up with a reason why, but it is causing so much hardship for the rest of the family to try and support that person. It takes a lot of time, sometimes money is involved, and just the whole distress that is caused when you see this loved one acting in a way that is self-destructive. Perhaps they're not even dangerous. They're not going to hurt anyone, but they're just going down a road that, not even a road, maybe a hole is a better way of putting it, digging deeper and deeper, and the rest of the family is being pulled down also, because they don't want to give up on this person. They want to offer as much help as possible, but it can't get through. And sometimes these people that are struggling with this are very smart. They're smart people, and you will point out something to them that you can't do that. That's not the way to go about it. That's not going to help you. You're hurting the family, and then they will present you with an argument to justify what they're doing, and you have to be on your toes when they're presenting their case to you as to why they must do it this way and do it their way. You have to be on your toes listening to that argument, not to be pulled down into that rabbit hole. Because they will turn logic around to suit their narrative. And if you're not paying attention, you're not gonna have a counter argument. And sometimes they come close to even convincing you. Sometimes they come close to convincing you. It's mental health is it is an amazing thing, actually, to see where another person can go. And it's here in our community. We have to recognize it and deal with it. And there are our governments and other agencies that can help. And sometimes the challenge is to get that person to actually seek the help. Because even if you point them in the right direction, they don't want to go. And that's where the burden, again, becomes heavy on the family. Because you got to have the person cooperating, especially if they're not violent, if they're just not seeing the world from a correct perspective. They're not hurting anybody. They're just there. Probably they might not be able to hold a job. But they're a burden, and bringing the rest of the family to a brink too. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Looking to transform your space? From custom homes to commercial spaces, we bring your vision to life with precision, quality, and elegance. At Mike's Builders, we make it happen.
Mike's Builders turned my dream home into a reality. Their team is professional, efficient, and truly the best in the business. Good communication? Check. Cleanliness? Check. Professionalism? On point. You have to try Mike's Builders for yourself.
Call us today at 923-0706. That's 923-0706. Mike's Builders. Let's build a beautiful world together.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
The best foundation you can wear is glowing, healthy skin. The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter specialize in enhancing your skin's well-being. Whether you're seeking advanced skincare, including any skin cancers, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drportercayman@gmail.com or call 946-9020. That is 946-9020.
This summer, choose from 10 international destinations for your vacation with Cayman Airways. Explore New York, discover Denver, roam Los Angeles, play in Tampa, shop in Miami, tour Panama, uncover Havana, hike in La Ceiba, jam in Kingston, or relax in Montego Bay. Connecting flights are also available from the sister islands. Cayman Airways offers more international non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline, and the lowest rates for checked bags. Book today at CaymanAirways.com, download our new mobile app, or call Cayman Airways reservations on 949-2311. Come fly with us and relax with your uniquely Caymanian airline.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back to Talk Today. We do have a caller on our WhatsApp line. Let's see what they're saying. Good afternoon. You're on the air. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Mr. Charles.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah, I just listening in on the your conversation with mental health, right?
Yeah.
And most importantly, we as a small island have always tried to share as much as how I cope with the stuff that we deal with here in Cayman as a Caymanian especially, because it's very hard to live amongst people that are not alike. And that's so unique being in a small little island. And my mental health is my most important thing that I've learned since I came out of school, because I had to deal with a mother that had mental issues.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people might think that and say that I wouldn't care because of how I am or something like that, right? But I tell you what, trauma is a serious thing.
Oh, yeah.
And one thing I know as well is dealing with that trauma is another serious thing, because you could be a person that is very violent dealing with a trauma, and then you can be a person that is very calming and forgiving dealing with a trauma as well, knowing that you wouldn't want someone to be in that same position as you. And one really important thing that I believe people forget when it comes into mental health is unpopular opinion. Humans, we've never meant to be this busy, and that's why everybody has anxiety and depression. So
because we're all wrapped up in trying to get to the next thing that we have to do,
and trying to be liked by others as well.
Acceptance.
That's a very serious thing. You know what else involves with being like others? Alcohol.
Yeah.
When you go out in social in this island, it's nothing other than let's go out for a drink. You don't have like how it used to be, other more popular family places that you can go, family friendly places, because the most family friendly place you can go is a sport bar. And I don't get it why people believe that just because you do a certain thing, because you have to cope with things, and some people be under the influence. And I believe that's one of the main reasons why we have people that commit suicide, because they're under the influence of something, mostly, in my opinion, heavily on some pills or alcohol.
And there's probably some kind of correlation, some connection between mental health and people using drugs or alcohol too.
Yeah, because it's a coping thing. It's a comfort zone.
They're medicating them. They think they're medicating themselves.
Right. And I've always looked at cigarettes and alcohol included as a drug, and I've done both cigarettes and alcohol. And one thing I know that the alcohol does is that it doesn't make you care too much about anything, or what you do, or how you say things, how you think. and it doesn't make you think of the consequences of those actions, maybe making it a lot easier. We call it liquid courage.
Right.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people should be familiar with this thing that I'm talking about, because when we see the rate of suicide increasing, especially with men, and when the rate of accidents happening with fatalities involving alcohol, we should take in consideration that a big factor of our suicide rate is because of alcohol. Not just focusing on the mental illnesses, but alcohol. Because you have to be under the influence to do something stupid. I strongly believe that people that are on medication should not have anything to do with friends that are involved in alcohol, because alcohol can be purchased anywhere by anybody, any place, any time, and it's a dangerous substance. Cigarettes not even as bad as alcohol. That's the worst.
And you're talking about mixing that with some medication that you're on. It's
right. When I say drugs and pills, I meant pills that people use to take on mental health care.
Right.
And I've seen what it does. I'm not stupid, because my mother was also influenced by some of her dumb friends with alcohol. Now I can say that because I've seen it with my two eyes. I do not agree with it at all.
Well, sometimes that medication, if you look on the bottle, it'll tell you not to drink, not to have alcohol.
But like I'll emphasize again, you have some stupid friends out there that will tell you otherwise.
Oh, go ahead, do it. That's not gonna hurt you. That's not gonna hurt you. Go ahead.
I advocate for mental healthness, and really and truly, I've seen too much going on with the mental health and mental illness with people under the influence of alcohol. I'll emphasize that they are under the influence of alcohol. When you see them do some stupid things, check them, check them, and make sure they're not under the influence of alcohol, because that would kill anybody. That alcohol will kill anybody. I've seen it.
Well, you were also speaking a while ago about the need for us to be accepted by other people, and I know for young people that's a big thing, to be accepted by others.
For young people, they do things that young people do. They go out and have fun. And if you're a person of that type of category, going out to have fun is to be like them. So the most dangerous thing about alcoholic, first of all, that wants to quit, is a function of celebration, including involving alcohol.
So you say stay away from the alcohol altogether.
As much as you can. I don't want to be that hypocrite to say that I don't drink. But what I'm saying is, if you're that person that don't have a stable mind, where you know what is real and what is not, and you can believe what you see and see what you believe, and stop hiding behind the corners of the bushes so that you can be forever in sin, ungodly. People that fear God live longer, you know.
Well, I'm not going to argue with that.
People that fear. Hey, mental clarity is getting to know God. Mental clarity is getting to know God. If you feel like confusion and you want to pick up an alcohol bottle and drink it away because you don't want to accept it, pick up the Bible first and check it out. They've had people live that long time ago.
But thank you so much for your call. Thank you for your call, and thank you for sharing your own personal experience with us.
Yes, sir.
You have a good afternoon.
You too.
We have another caller on the line. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today.
Good afternoon, Mr. Glidden, and happy Monday to you.
Same to you.
Thank you. I wanted to open up the discussion on the what seems like the final stages of acquisition of Cayman National Corporation by this company in Trinidad and Tobago.
Mm-hmm.
And there's quite an extensive article on the Compass today.
Yeah, I saw that.
Dated today, yes. And so I wanted to have, perhaps have other callers calling in and try to open a discussion about it. I don't know if it's right to expect our government to make a statement on this acquisition. I'm just surprised that more prominent persons aren't speaking out about this, or maybe your government, ordinarily we would probably expect that our leaders would, especially in the financial area, would make a statement. But I called the bank earlier and they said, well, it's just being done, but nothing has been done yet. So I guess that means that's why we're not hearing anything. But I don't think it's a good thing to say that the company will be delisted from the stock exchange, Cayman Islands Stock Exchange, and that for me is a bit concerning.
Why? Why is that concerning for you?
Well, I know quite a number of, I would just say Caymanians, first of all, who has shareholders, shares there and so forth, and it could, and I don't understand. That's why I wanted to open the discussion about it, because I don't understand the logistics of the financial aspects of these things. So I'm not going to pretend like I do. The more numbers I see, the more confused I become. When it comes to words, I'm perfectly fine with that. But it's a bit confusing reading about all the numbers and the percentages and so forth and whatnot. But I'd like to see more professional people or more knowledgeable people open up the discussion, and so we can have a better understanding of what's going on and what it'll mean for Cayman. Because for me, I don't know if that means it's going to be a change of the bank's the corporation's name, the bank's name. Will Caymanians get laid off? Will they be made redundant? Will they be offered packages?
Well, I think
will fees be included? Will fees?
It's a matter of who owns the bank.
Right. Yes.
I mean, and the bank had quite a few shareholders in the past.
Right.
Before, Republic bought it, bought most of those, and a lot of those, I think, did quite well selling their shares to Republic.
That's what I heard.
I mean, it's a company, so it's their business, and they're offering to buy back not everybody sold their shares, so now they are saying, we will buy those shares now. Here's an offer. And I think they gave them, it was sometime in May, the offer that they made was, what was it, 75 cents or something over what the close of the price value of a share that day. Right. So, I mean, they were offering a better deal than if you had sold them on an exchange.
Right.
And they just want to own the vast majority, if not the whole thing, and come off of the exchange, because it's not going to be traded anymore. You're not going to be able to go in there and buy shares anymore.
Right.
That's my understanding of it.
Okay, that makes sense now that you're explaining it in that capacity. My whole thing, as you can imagine, is how is this going to benefit or continue for Cayman National Corporation and all of its services to benefit Caymanians, especially Caymanians that have banking that are their customers, are part of the many services that the bank does offer, the corporation does offer.
You mean the employees and such?
Well, I mean, like I said, what are the long-term benefits of this? Is this going to be the end of Cayman National Bank, Cayman National Corporation, and its services as we know it? It's an integral part.
I mean, they have the right to go ahead and rename the bank if they want to.
Right, I know that.
But I don't know why they would do that, and I don't think there would be anything but closing the bank, because here we are in this flourishing financial industry, in a jurisdiction rather. So
No,
they're probably doing very well being located in Cayman.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking.
I have to break off right now though, because it's 1 o'clock. So
I'll hold, sir, because I wanted to.
You'll hold on. Okay. Well,
yes,
we're gonna have to break to go to the newsroom.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
With a look at your latest headlines, I'm Jevi Ebanks. Cayman's national under-23 3x3 men's team has officially landed in Paraguay for an elite training camp as they prepare to represent Cayman at the Junior Pan American Games this August. This marks a historic moment, the first time ever Cayman has qualified for the Junior Pan Am Games. In regional news, the Guyana government refutes social media claims that foreign nationals received housing at Little and Great Diamond on the east bank of Damiria. The Ministry of Housing and Water, CHPA, confirmed that only legally recognized Guyanese have been allocated lands, primarily former squatters from the river dam. Of the 291 identified households, 228 have received homes, while 37 Venezuelans found squatting were deemed ineligible. Government-approved turnkey homes costing Guyanese $5.2 million, not Guyanese $7 million as falsely reported. Infrastructure upgrades worth Guyanese $780 million are set to begin on the 15th of June, with completion expected by the end of July. The ministry urges the public to avoid spreading misinformation. To St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves calls for restraint as tensions rise between Trinidad and Tobago and Venezuela over allegations of mercenary activities. Venezuela claims Trinidadian nationals were involved in plots to destabilize its government, but Trinidad's Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar dismisses the accusations, citing no evidence. Gonsalves, reaffirming CARICOM's commitment to peace, warns against inflammatory rhetoric and foreign interference. Trinidad's Minister Barry Pardath backs Persad-Bissessar's firm stance, emphasizing national security and sovereignty. That's your latest headlines. I'm Jevi Ebanks.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Do you have a healthcare question but not sure who to ask? Contact HSA's Patient Call Center to speak to one of our experienced clinical team members. We are here to answer your questions and help guide you through your healthcare journey. Need to make an appointment? Our team can help. Contact HSA at 949-8600 or email info@hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
James William Algernon Ryan, JP, 1913 to 2007. Mr. Algie Ryan served for 17 years as head teacher in Cayman Brac. He also had a night school and taught commercial subjects, including typing and accounting. He later became a realtor, an attorney, and an insurance agent. He is today the longest-serving realtor in the Cayman Islands. He operated a weekly boat service between Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, transporting mail, cargo, and passengers. Later, he was a director of Little Cayman Enterprises the company that developed the Southern Cross Club, the first guest facility on Little Cayman. In the early 1960s, he leased land and oversaw the construction of the Edward Bodden Airfield in Little Cayman, which is still in use today. He served for a time in the Legislative Assembly as a nominated member.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands, the ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom, the land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your Sister Islands.
Discover all that our Sister Islands have to offer.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and we have a caller who's been holding while we went to the news. Hello, caller, you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
So you said you wanted to talk about some other issues.
Yes, no, I was.
You want to continue with CNB?
Yes, I was trying to get a better understanding of what it means, because I'm surprised that more people. Well, there are people that are speaking out about it, but I'm surprised that people are higher authority, or maybe the government. I don't know if the government has a place to make a statement.
I don't think so.
We as far as I know, these acquisitions do not always have to be approved. But my concern is, I'm looking at it from the angle of, this is an integral part of our history, and I know as time evolves, things change. We saw years ago the mergers that became what is now known. What is it called? The bank there in front of Elizabethan Square. I think that resulted.
CIBC.
It's not CIBC.
In front of Elizabethan Square.
Right. Yes. Is it First Caribbean? Is that First Caribbean?
Yeah, but I think it was CIBC, right?
Right.
And they changed the name.
Right. And so we see those sorts of things happening all the time, and many, all jurisdictions. But I'm just worried whether there'll be stipulations in terms of the company, if they're seemingly successful with the acquisition, what that will mean for Cayman and our many thousands, if not more, Caymanian customers. I mean, people are voicing their concerns on social media. People have been messaging me, wanting to know if I know, any information or whatever.
I mean, what is the concern, though? I mean, what are people worried about?
What is going to change with the bank? Like I said, and they're taking it off the stock exchange if everything is.
Yeah, well, the Cayman stock exchange, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, what will that mean for anyone who doesn't sell their shares? So the articles are being put out by the media, but those sorts of questions have not been put forward by the company that's the corporation that's trying to acquire Cayman National. There's no revelations to customers of what could potentially change for customers to be noticed in advance, rather than if and well it obviously is going to be successful, what will that mean for Cayman? Usually, they would say, well, you may see increase in fees, the name may change, we may have to lay off some staff, we have to make some positions redundant. When a few years ago they had their customer service, when they first made the first acquisition, they moved the customer service over to Trinidad and Tobago, and that was really not tasteful at all. And then they decided to move it back to Grand Cayman, and so we saw that happen. And I just think that more information should be put out to the customers, so we can have a better idea of what to expect, what's going to happen, rather than dropping everything in our lap.
Well, I mean, Republic, they virtually own the bank anyway, right? even before this.
Understand. Yes, basically I understand.
So
that
they were
now.
setting policy and fees and whatever even prior to this.
Right.
So I don't see those kind of things changing in any dramatic fashion.
Well,
because they were already running the show.
Pretty much, yes, you're absolutely right. But there's a difference between pretty much running the show and absolute running the show. You know, 75% is not 100% until it's 100%. Which you know, you can be a supervisor and you have certain authorities and powers, but when you become the absolute manager of the entire, you know, process, or you become the CEO, it's a whole different ball game, and what gives you authority and powers to do. You see what I'm saying? So I think
they had that already, though.
Yeah, I don't know about that, Mr. Glidden, but we'll see. But I think they're just being a bit in the shadows with information to customers, and you know, there are a lot of. No, maybe I shouldn't say that, because
I'm sure they're not going to do anything to drive customers away, to make it harder on people. I mean, they're business people.
Yes.
They're bankers.
Well, we see
they're here to make money.
Right, but Mr. Glidden, be fair now. In terms of, you know, we have this thing in Cayman where they say there's no taxes. But if you have a stamp duty fee, and you have a maintenance fee, and you have a point of sale fee, and you have a withdrawal fee, can you imagine charging customers a withdrawal fee? And I'm not just saying it's just Cayman National.
Oh, no, that's common now.
It's across the
they not only charge you to take it out, they charge you to put it in.
Well, that's what I understand with another bank too.
That's all over the place.
So we see those things because there's really no huge competition in Cayman per se with banking, but they know these are services. It's like the telecommunication services. There's only a certain 2 or 3 or 4, so they know that the competition is very slim. So of course it's almost mandatory that people take advantage of these services. So of course, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to do it, you know. But I'll leave you with that. Maybe someone else will call in and chime. Mr. Glidden, thanks very much for taking my call as usual.
All right, you have a good afternoon.
You too. Bye-bye.
Yeah, the banks are, they're nickel and diming you, as they would say. You want to put money in, it's 75 cents. You want to take money out, it's 75 cents. I never did really understand that. It's my money. You're going to charge me to take it out? Yep, that's how it goes. You can use the ATM, but what? I think at my bank the ATM is 50 cents. If you go to the teller, it's 75 cents. So they're going to get you either way you go. Do we have a caller on the line? Hello?
Hello.
Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Good afternoon. Am I on?
Yes, you're on.
It's Robert speaking to you here. Good afternoon, Mr. Glidden. I talk about President currently, right? Obviously, Mr. Glidden.
Talking about what?
United Kingdom. I say speaking generally and specifically, right?
Mm-hmm.
The United Kingdom, right, is a boozing community. Alcohol, liquor, right? Spirits, right? And the former Prime Minister Boris Johnson, he was in a 10-year position. He lost that parliament position during the COVID regulations. Okay? And when Al Capone era immigrated to Chicago, the Valentine Massacre, right? The bootleg alcohol, that set the trend. Right, and we currently right with the legalizing or decriminalizing marijuana, right, with the bipartisan compromise, 2 political parts, right. And alcohol is not for everyone. It's Dutch courage. And if you read And a spirit of bottle, you drink responsible, not irresponsible. Whoever, Mr. Glidden, like our jobs in Cayman, will always have an edge and a drive towards the blue collar hairdresser. You understand?
Yeah.
From the judiciary to whatever, despite how much currency you make in our wages, desired wages. In synthetic drugs, is over the counter. If it prescribed to you, it's silent and discreetly. Whoever is addictive. So the system protect whoever and punish and chastise the destitute poor. So currently, Mr. Glidden, we in a colloquial era now. We clear the roadmap of the herb topic is simplicity. You understand? We not follow no country. The former being Pantan, when he was a PPM, he advocated for daylight saving time. I have a problem with it. Who Tokyo or London or whatever. You understand? We don't follow about the herb topic is simplicity. You understand where I come from? And I quote, before you let me go on, Mr. Glidden, Peter Tosh, in his song, Legalize, Don't Criticize It. Even the doctors and lawyers smoke it too. And that was decades ago. I will go there, Mr. Glidden.
All right, you have a good one. Peter Tosh, yeah, I remember that one. All right, 16 minutes after 1 o'clock. I was talking earlier about mental health. Here's some mental health resources if you or someone that you know are having problems. Here's some places that you can find some help. Alex's Place, that's at the Health Services Authority. They offer help for adolescent mental health. They have an adolescent health hub for ages 10 to 20. That's interesting. From age 10. From age 10 to 20, you can find help there for young people. And it is located at the front of the Anthony S. Eden Hospital. That's what we always would call the Georgetown Hospital. It's just right after, on the left after passing the main atrium. Open Monday to Fridays from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Services available by walk-in or referral. Telephone 244-7856. There's the Cayman Islands Crisis Center. The Crisis Center provides support to all victims of domestic violence through services and programs focusing on domestic and sexual abuse. Among its services, it provides shelter, counseling, and 24/7 crisis help on the helpline at 943-2422, 943-2422. They also have a toll-free number, 1-800-543-2422. That's a toll-free number there to the Crisis Center. Administration telephone number 949-0366. And you can also find it on a website. You can go to the Crisis Center website. There's also Cayman Mental Health Helpline. Remember, there was a notice circulating last week about them staying open an hour later than usual, in case anyone wanted or needed to talk to someone. The Cayman Mental Health Helpline is 1-800-534-6463. 6463 is MIND, MIND. And that's open Mondays to Fridays from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. And there's the Department of Counseling Services. Their number is 949-8789, or email counseling.services@gov.ky. And I do believe that's a free service from the government. For more information, go to the Department of Counseling Services website, and HSA Behavioral Health Services. You can call 244-2530 or go to the Behavioral Health Services website. So there is help out there. People just need to be directed to it, accept that they need help. Sometimes they need a little guidance to get them there. So help is available here in the Cayman Islands. Let's take a break.
We give you honor and praise, adoration and glory.
Radio Cayman.
Praise time.
Praise Him, praise Him. Come and let's praise the Lord. Come and let's praise the Lord. Praise Him in the morning and in the evening. Oh, let's praise the Lord.
Praise time in the morning.
Praise Him, praise Him.
Weekdays 6 to 6:30 a.m.
Radio Cayman, waking you up.
Rock my soul in the blues of my faith in your hand. Rock my soul in the blues of my faith in your hand.
Praise time.
I know He cares. He'll always be there. Oh, yeah. Praise Him, praise Him, praise Him.
Praise time.
Set your clock for 6 a.m. or you will miss it.
Hungry? Need Subway any time of the day?
Yeah.
We've got you covered. Subway at Anderson Square, Centennial Towers, and Countryside Shopping Village is open 24/7, serving up fresh, delicious subs anytime you need them. And for your weekend cravings, West Shore Center is also open 24 hours on Friday nights and until 1 a.m. on Saturdays, because it's never too late for a great meal. Skip the line and order ahead with the Subway Cayman Islands app, or get your favorites delivered straight to your door with Bento and Let's Eat. Fresh, fast, and always here when you need us. Subway, eat fresh.
Looking to transform your space? From custom homes to commercial spaces, we bring your vision to life with precision, quality, and elegance. At Mike's Builders, we make it happen.
Mike's Builders turned my dream home into a reality. Their team is professional, efficient, and truly the best in the business. Good communication? Check. Cleanliness? Check. Professionalism? On point. You have to try Mike's Builders for yourself.
Call us today at 923-0706. That's 923-0706. Mike's Builders. Let's build a beautiful world together.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Are you feeling overwhelmed, sad, stressed out, or suicidal and need support? Call 1-800-534-6463. K-Mind, Mental Health Helpline. It's okay to ask for help. K-Mind Mental Health Helpline, available from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Friday. It's free and confidential support and guidance on your emotional and psychological health.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. You're listening to Talk Today, and we have a caller on the line. Good afternoon. You're on the air. Hello.
Good afternoon, Mr. Glidden.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
Okay, and you?
I'm doing all right.
Okay.
What's on your mind today?
Well, speaking about suicidal thoughts. They're saying that stress, depression, and anxiety can lead to it.
Sure.
I just need people to know that all these things are demons, evil spirits.
Are you saying that in a metaphorical sense or in a real sense?
Well, reality. It's been known from when Jesus came to the earth and he was healing people who had mental problems. That is why when we find ourselves in these types of situations and it seems as though the doctors and the medications that they give you don't seem to help, and you feel lost, confused, and hopeless. And that is why when we be obedient and obey the will of God and Jesus Christ Almighty, by being saved and baptized and asking them to come into our lives. And when we do that, all those demons and those evil spirits, after Jesus and God has come into our lives, they have to leave our lives. They can no longer control us. Thank you very much.
Okay. And I've seen some Christians that have some mental issues also. So I don't know. To each his own, I guess. On Google now, when you do a search, seems like a new thing on Google is that they give you an AI overview of what you're asking, what you're researching. That AI gathers all the information and summarizes it right up at the top. And it does say that AI can make mistakes. It has that caveat in there. I was interested in what the summary would be for mental health in the Cayman Islands, and this was the AI overview from what it gathered from sources on the internet. And I think some of them are local sources. So, yeah, I think looking at it, they're all local. The Cayman Islands are facing a growing mental health crisis with increasing rates of mental illness, suicidal thoughts, and substance abuse. This is particularly evident among young people who are experiencing higher rates of anxiety, depression, and suicidal ideation. That's about ideas about suicide. The situation is further exacerbated by limited resources, high cost of treatment, and stigma surrounding mental illness. So that's a AI summary of what can be found on the internet about mental health in the Cayman Islands. We have a caller. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today.
Good afternoon, Mr. Glidden. How are you?
I'm doing all right. And you?
I'm fine. Tobacco products, all tobacco products, are we or anyone, you're not allowed to advertise that anymore. Is that right?
That's my understanding, and yeah, that's off the list.
Okay.
And alcohol, although I see alcohol being snuck in a little time sometimes in ads, like you just see the picture of it, but they're not talking about it or something.
That's my contention now, that if you ban tobacco products, but if you look around, alcohol is advertised practically in most establishments or outlets with alcohol. It's like photos or whatever, highly advertised. And I wonder what's the logic in doing it that way, that one is barred and the other one is do as you see fit.
Well, I think both of them are barred. But it's the advertising creators try this subtle way of it's visually there, but they're not talking about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you see it, but nobody's telling you, oh, this drink tastes really good. Have another one on me or something. It's just there, and you pick it up. Your mind sees it.
No, it should not be. It should not be for one and not for the other. Both things should be barred from the public. And I say that to say this: into our little island, anything that has a chicken coop can get a liquor license. Then
I don't know if it's that easy, but
if you look around and see what's happening, like you said just a few seconds ago, what's happening to the young people?
Mm-hmm.
So much an easy access to get alcohol. Okay? Now, watch this again. You can get it so freely, just go and buy it or let someone buy it for you. Now, they say that tobacco will give you lung cancer or whatever. Alcohol will give you cirrhosis of the liver and probably other disease as well. So if that poor guy only have enough to get himself drunk all the time, and he takes in with a serious illness like cirrhosis of the liver, that is definitely an expenditure on top of the government, and they're not probably going to refuse to see the person there need help and don't help him.
If he doesn't have the insurance to cover it.
This is it. So there's a lot of things in this island that needs to definitely be looked at. And I'm hoping and praying, and I feel confident that the present government is going to take a positive look at all of these things, because, like I said, anybody that got 2 tins of corned beef on top of their shelf, they can get a liquor license. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous.
So you're talking now about like how the gas stations can sell liquor and that sort of thing?
Gas stations, a little 2x4 outlets that selling a little bit of groceries, or maybe got a salon or something. It is just out of control. So it has to be something definitely seriously looked at this situation and see what can be done to rectify it as it is now, because we got a tsunami of alcohol being distributed over this country, And the youngsters, no wonder they're going crazy and having mental problems, because you don't know what they're consuming, because all kind of drugs is put into these alcohols, and then it definitely will affect them. So,
drugs and alcohol?
Oh, yeah.
Is that what you said?
Uh-huh. Alcohol in your soft drinks, your candies and all of that. I mean, it's all, you got to watch what you're consuming, what you're putting in your mouth these days, Bo. Definitely. So it's nothing to be, neutral about. You have to be really outspoken about these things, and wondering what's happening to the youth with all of the problems they're having. Well, there's something that is definitely done, in my opinion, willfully.
That's a new one on me, though. Drugs and candy and alcohol.
Is it new to you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's there.
What kind of drugs are in the candy and alcohol?
For me to determine and say exactly what it is that it laced with, but it's definitely something that affects your mental capacity to be normal. It is just make a diligent inquiry, and you can see not just what I'm saying, but it is practically known all over the island. So just again, be careful when people are off.
Are you saying that the manufacturer actually puts that into the candy?
No. I'm not saying the manufacturer. After it is done and they distribute it to the distributors, to the local people that buy it, I understand. It's a business like a dope. Okay? And kids are picking it up, and this friend said, taste this or taste that. So if you want to know more about it, you can probably go online and check out some of these places that you talk about for help, and they will give you the whole lowdown about what's happening here.
Okay.
Because Mario Ebanks made a big statement on that the other day as well. So he can tell you more about what happened in the meeting there, that, there was a few people there, should have been more, and it is something to be concerned about. Okay, Charlo?
All right. Well, thanks for that information. You have a good afternoon.
You too.
All right. Take care. Yeah, I've heard about people maliciously doing that, but not that you go into a store and you buy a candy and it's laced with something. I'll have to check with Mario about that, I guess. So we have a caller on the line. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
We just want to say it's not alcohol alone. It is the ganja too, causing the problem in mental health to people.
Okay.
That's all I have to say, sir.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you for making the call.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one. I guess there's people who smoke too much ganja. You've heard, well, ganja is not addictive, doesn't harm anyone, but I guess you can get addicted to anything. You get addicted to coffee. I mean, some people just can't make that first move in the morning unless they get a cup at least. And some people, you smoke too much ganja, and I would say your mind could get messed up. We have another caller. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today.
Good afternoon, Mr. Charles Glidden. Mario Ebanks here.
The man himself. You're listening.
Well, I heard my team call, and I was kind of multitasking, but I said I better call in.
Did you hear what it was in reference to?
I heard you say you were going to check with me about something. And,
we had a caller. We had a caller, and he was saying that no wonder young people are having problems with mental health and so forth, because there's drugs in alcohol and even in candy that they buy.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, that's a new one on me. And he said that you had been talking about this. That
right.
Can you elaborate?
I can. And I think I know, somebody sent me a message saying that one of my good activists from West Bay had been on the radio just now talking about it. So I think I know who it is, and he certainly has a lot of backbone and very courageous gentleman he is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I want to clarify is that I wasn't saying about drugs or ganja in candies or alcohol. What I was referring to when I called in the radio show the other day with Mr. O.C. and also I think with Mr. Austin and Elio and the other radio station was about the sessions that were being put on by the National Drug Council and the Youth Services Unit. They were going around the island last couple of weeks doing presentations entitled to do with use, drug use, and other side effects such as self-harm and potential suicide, depression, and stuff like that. And what they were talking about, and what I said, and I think the caller partly mentioned it, is that the sessions I went to in West Bay was so poorly attended. It was a shame that it wasn't more people, because only about 15 people there. But the presentation by the National Drug Council, Mr. Miller, and another young lady came on in, a researcher, and also by the Youth Services Unit, Mr. Jamo Miles and others from that unit. It's so scary about what's going on. One of the issues that they talk about was this vaping, Charlie, the vaping.
Oh, yeah.
Every time you turn around, you see one of those little one of those holes that you see a vape shop at, and people are going in there, and there's some of them are even 24 hours buying these units. And one of the data points that they mentioned in this presentation by the National Drug Council is that some of these brands of vapes, right, and these are electronic cigarettes I'm talking about, you're not sure what they have in them, because some of them smell so good, but there's chemicals in there, and some of them might be even more dangerous than actual cigarettes, the traditional cigarettes.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Not just with nicotine, but other chemicals. And one of those brands in particular, one of those canisters, the electronic cigarette vapes, it has as much strength as 590 cigarettes.
Wow.
So one of those. So I would hope that people attended the National Drug Council presentations in the other districts more than they did in the one in West Bay. But I would say that if they could get those folks to come in on one of your shows to present their findings and to take questions, it would be very enlightening to the public. The other thing that they talked about in this presentation that was also very scary was to do with all of these cannabis infused gummies and treats and these.
Okay, that's the candy he's talking about then, I guess.
Yes, the gummies, and also the brownie with cannabis and all kind of stuff that is actually people are using it to peddle around the place, and school children are also getting access to it. Some cases unknown to their parents or guardians, because as you know, one of the leading causes of youth issues that we have nowadays is parental absenteeism and lack of parental accountability. So that's another question, another discussion for another day. But the information that was put out by the National Drug Council and the Youth Services Unit in these presentations, particularly about vaping, about these cannabis-infused treats and gummies and things that children take to school, thinking that they're snacks, can be brought in by importers. Sometimes they don't know what's in it, but sometimes they know as well. And these are actually circulating quite a bit. So it needs to be looked at.
So they're being sold to children?
Well, what I'm saying is that parents might buy it, right, and give it to children for snacks, but also some of the children get access to it.
So it's not marked as being a gummy, as they call it.
No,
because that in other places you know you're buying a gummy, you know you're buying a cannabis infused candy. It's there. You know what you're doing.
But sometimes you travel, for example, on a trip, and parents might bring some of this stuff bring it home. Not thinking that
meant they went to a cannabis shop.
Yeah. No, not necessarily. It might, some of these things are disguised in such a way now that unless you recite this, you can't figure out what's in it. But some of them even have the ganja leaf on the packaging and the coloring and stuff, which makes it obvious what it is. And once you read the contents, you realize what it has in it. But a lot of people don't do that.
Yeah, but gummies aren't available even in the States where there's a lot of states that it's legal now, but it's not just in a general store. You have to go to a place that sells cannabis to get those things because they have to have a license.
But do you remember some months ago there was a prosecution here, or was an arrest made here of some organization, some importer or some wholesaler or distributor, whatever, that brought these things in, and they were actually I'm not sure if they're prosecuted yet, but there was actually an arrest made, or there was actual prosecutorial action taken. I don't know all the details.
Yeah, I remember hearing something about that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So,
that person went and got the gummies and then said, "I'm taking these back to Cayman and I'm going to try and sell them."
Right, but what I'm saying is that it's not possible, even with the best technology in the world, with scanning of all the stuff that comes in at the port and all that, it's not possible to check every minute detail of these things that are coming in, right? You know that, right?
Yeah.
One of the other findings of the presentation by the National Drug Council and the Youth Services Unit was that sometimes these young people may present themselves to the medical facilities and say they have they're nauseated, or they have some stomach issue, but it's really not that. It's something else that's causing the problem.
Well, to sell this to children, that's despicable. First of all, because you don't know what you're doing to a young brain when you do that.
I'm not saying that the research says that these people are maliciously selling it to children deliberately. What I'm saying, children are getting access to it, and they might know what it is, or they might know, or their parents may or may not know, but it is in circulation. And so we need to have better enforcement of it, because before you know it, you could have a generation of young people that are addicted to nicotine through these vapes, or addicted to marijuana through these gummies and other treats that they think are just normal treats. And we could have it, like what Mr. Ezra Miller said 30 years ago. We may have right off a generation. Do you remember about 30 years ago? If we're not careful, we may have to do so because we are causing our people to be exposed to these things. And a lot of it is due to society breakdown, lack of parental responsibility. And all this stuff is not the responsibility of the schools or the police. It's the responsibility of the families and community. And that's why I was so annoyed that these sessions that are being held in the communities to tell people about the vaping and about the depression and self-harm and about these cannabis-infused treats was so poorly attended. So I'm hoping and praying that this information will get out there. And I'm also calling for a serious review to be made right away on these vape shops to see what they're selling, what the contents are, and whether we might not need to put a immediate elimination or cessation of any more licenses for those kind of businesses.
I know one of the things.
In our best interest.
One of the things about the vapes that they've been accused of is that the flavors that they have is deliberately aimed at young people to start vaping. And vaping, there's also something called popcorn lung, I think it is, that is associated with vaping. And that once your lungs are affected by it, this popcorn lung, because it makes the inside look like when you pop corn. You're ruined. Your lungs are ruined.
That's right. And with these vapes, you're actually breathing in vapor. You're not breathing in the smoke that you get from the cigarettes. It's even worse because you're actually putting vapor in your lungs. Some of you might be excreting or exhaling, but some is staying in. So eventually you have your lungs with fluid and you're almost like drowning. So it is very, very serious. We we have to take it serious. And I'm saying, Charlo, that the caller who called and called my name, I'm happy to come in to talk to you. I mean, I'm happy to call back to clarify, but I want...
Yeah, thanks for doing that.
The people who have the data, the National Drug Council and the Youth Services Unit, to actually come out there and give this information to the public so that people can understand it and take heed, because, like I say, we are doing that Paul Keane Douglas thing, as you know well, Paul Keane Douglas. We're on a precipice. We're on a precipice and about to make one bold step forward.
Yeah, okay.
Breaks on some of this stuff. Okay?
Yeah. Thanks for calling, Mario.
Okay, brother. Take care.
All right, have a good one. It's going up to about 9 minutes before 2 o'clock. Let's take a break.
Looking to transform your space? From custom homes to commercial spaces, we bring your vision to life with precision, quality, and elegance. At Mike's Builders, we make it happen.
Mike's Builders turned my dream home into a reality. Their team is professional, efficient, and truly the best in the business. Good communication? Check. Cleanliness? Check. Professionalism? On point. You have to try Mike's Builders for yourself.
Call us today at 923-0706. That's 923-0706. Mike's Builders. Let's build a beautiful world together. Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
This summer, choose from 10 international destinations for your vacation with Cayman Airways. Explore New York, discover Denver, roam Los Angeles, play in Tampa, shop in Miami, tour Panama, uncover Havana, hike in La Ceiba, jam in Kingston, or relax in Montego Bay. Connecting flights are also available from the sister islands. Cayman Airways offers more international non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline, and the lowest rates for checked bags. Book today at CaymanAirways.com, download our new mobile app, or call Cayman Airways reservations on 949-2311. Come fly with us and relax with your uniquely Caymanian airline.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back. And just before we went to the break there, we were talking about vaping and the dangers of vaping and something called popcorn lung. And took a look for that, and it's a popcorn lung, medically known as bronchiolitis obliterans. It is a chronic, long-term, a chronic lung disease that damages the small airways in the lungs. It is characterized by inflammation, damage, and scarring of the bronchioles, leading to difficulty breathing and coughing. While often associated with vaping, the chemical diacetyl bronchiolitis obliterans can also be caused by other factors like certain infections or exposure to other toxins. So popcorn lung is a serious lung infection that affects the airways in the lungs. The condition can be caused by various factors, among them inhaled irritants such as diacetyl, and that's the chemical that is used in some vaping liquids. So it can also be caused by infections or exposure to certain drugs, and the symptoms can include a chronic cough, shortness of breath, wheezing, and fatigue. And while vaping is a known risk factor, bronchiolitis obliterans can also occur in individuals who have had lung transplants, infections, and been exposed to other toxins. While the name popcorn lung originated from cases of diacetyl exposure in popcorn factory workers, the link to vaping is concerning because many vape liquids contain this chemical or similar chemicals that can cause similar lung damage. And diagnosis usually involves imaging tests like chest x-rays or CT scans, and possibly lung function test. And here's the kicker. You get popcorn lung. There is no cure for bronchiolitis obliterans, but treatments can help manage symptoms and prevent further lung damage. So that vaping, not a good idea. All sorts of things can happen there. So maybe we should be looking into whether we want to allow that to enter the country, because it's certainly something that will lead to bad health. And from what Mario was saying, was these electronic cigarettes can be more powerful than, a pack of cigarettes. And I know I was, in my younger days, maybe a pack and a half a day I got up to. And giving up cigarettes was one of the best things I ever did in life. Gained some weight, but that's because your appetite got better. Food, you could taste the food again. The food tasted good once you stopped, messing up your taste buds by inhaling tobacco smoke. You could smell better. You could smell things better, and personally, you smelled better. Because, when a person smokes, the smoke is on your clothes, it gets in your hair. In other words, you smell like a cigarette, is what you smell like. And today, even if I'm driving and I have my window down, and like a car's in front of me and their window's down, they're smoking a cigarette, I can smell it, and it really annoys me now. Can't take the smell of a cigarette at all. So if you're smoking cigarettes, hey, give them up. And don't start vaping. It's no better for you, okay? It might even be worse than smoking cigarettes. We're coming up on news time, just about 2 o'clock, so let's see what's happening in the Cayman Islands.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market.
With a look at your latest headlines, I'm Jevi Ebanks. The Business Staffing and Planning Board warns employers with approved business staffing plans to adhere to all conditions or face work permit denials. Annual updates on training, succession planning, and advertising must be submitted via work. Employers must also provide full records when a Caymanian applies for a role, with false information carrying a penalty of 5,000 Cayman Islands dollars. Business Staffing and Planning Board Chair Jaron Leslie and Minister the Honorable Michael Miles backs the zero-tolerance approach to ensure fairness and transparency. For more information, contact WORC-BSPS Secretariat at gov.ky for more information. In regional news, Guyana's President Ifran Ali has inaugurated the new Diamond Regional Hospital, which will serve over 40,000 people along the East Bank corridor. Built in partnership with China's Sinopharm International, the 75-bed facility features 3 operating theaters and meets international medical standards. Part of Guyana's $37.2 billion initiative, the hospital ensures equitable, high-quality health care for all Guyanese nationals. Healthcare Minister Dr. Frank Anthony highlighted the need for the upgraded facility, replacing the previous hospital that no longer met growing demands. In other regional news, the U.S. Coast Guard has intercepted over $138 million worth of cocaine and marijuana in 6 operations across the Caribbean Sea. Qatar Valiant offloaded 17,450 pounds of cocaine, 2,585 pounds of marijuana in Florida, while Qatar Vigorous delivered 840 pounds of cocaine to Miami Beach. Collaborating with the U.S., Canadian, and Dutch naval forces, the Coast Guard disrupted transnational criminal networks. Commander Matthew Press praised the team's dedication to border security, emphasizing their role in combating drug trafficking. That is your latest headlines. I'm Jevy Ebanks.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Protect your computers and mobile devices with security software to defend against cyber attacks through viruses, malware, and other online threats. Be aware of unsecure Wi-Fi connections when in public. If you need to access your online banking or sensitive information on your mobile devices, try disabling the Wi-Fi and switching to data from your mobile network. If you suspect a fraud attempt, please contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
This summer, choose from 10 international destinations for your vacation with Cayman Airways. Explore New York, discover Denver, roam Los Angeles, play in Tampa, shop in Miami, tour Panama, uncover Havana, hike in La Ceiba, jam in Kingston, or relax in Montego Bay. Connecting flights are also available from the sister islands. Cayman Airways offers more international non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline, and the lowest rates for checked bags. Book today at CaymanAirways.com, download our new mobile app, or call Cayman Airways reservations on 949-2311. Come fly with us and relax with your uniquely Caymanian airline.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Freedom, Cayman Brack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buddentown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buddentown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
J.A. Roy Bodden, in association with Ian Randall Publishers, cordially invites you to the launch of his second volume on the study of Caymanian society, deconstructing development, immigration, society and economy in early 21st century Cayman. The book launch will be held at the Sir Vassal Johnson Hall, University College of the Cayman Islands, on Saturday, the 5th of July at 6 p.m. Refreshments, book sales and signing to follow immediately after the launching ceremony. The full complement of J.A. Roy Bodden's published works will also be on sale. The first 50 attendees will receive a complimentary copy of one of the author's previously published works.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back. Welcome back to Talk Today. We're into the home stretch here, and we have a caller on the line, so let's go to the phones. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today.
Hey, good afternoon again, Mr. Glidden.
Yes, good afternoon. Hello?
Well, I heard you mention that you've noticed some Christians with mental issues.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just need you to know you have what you call wolves in sheep's clothing. And remember the Last Supper with Jesus and his disciples, who were also called Christians because they were followers of Christ. But at the Last Supper, he said, one of you sitting here by the table is the devil, who was Judas. But I also heard you speaking about the banks in Cayman. I've also heard that, for example, if say someone's child has a piggy bank now and they saved up $100 worth of change, and they want to take it to the bank to get it changed into paper money.
Mm-hmm.
The bank will actually take $10 out of that $100 for themselves, just to actually change the money from coins to paper money.
Well, I don't know if they take that amount, but
yes, it's facts. And what's happening is the politicians who have the power to change certain laws in order that the banks aren't allowed to do as they please, you know. Parliament has that power. But how I see it is, and I believe it's facts, what I'm saying, that these politicians themselves are so tied up with the bank themselves when it comes to mortgages and bank loans.
Well, some of them owe the bank.
Excuse me?
I say some of them owe the bank.
The majority of them owe the bank. Or every one of them probably do. But that's what I'm saying. They're so tied up with the bank that they're even afraid to bring anything concerning the bank to the floor of the house. And remember, the Bible tells you, the borrower becomes a servant to the lender. And how I see it in the Cayman Islands right now, it was bad enough before, you know, but it's getting a lot worse. And the government has to realize that when it comes to banks and what they choose to do, and they're allowed to do as they please, especially to our young people, it's not fair. And it's something that should not be allowed, and it is something that needs to stop. But I'd just like to say this in ending. The banks in the Cayman Islands have become legal thieves. Thank you very much.
All right. I mean, nobody minds someone making a reasonable profit, you know, but yeah, there can be some price gouging going on. I took a look at the Radio Cayman website news page, and I see this headline up there: Cayman Islands takes major step forward with mental health first aid initiative, and that's actually a program, mental health first aid. It says the Cayman Islands celebrated a significant milestone last month with the successful completion of its Mental Health First Aid Mentoring Week, marking the first step forward towards the full launch of a locally adapted MHFA, Mental Health First Aid Program. Organized by the Addison Kelly Mental Health Education Fund, proud initiative of the Alex Panton Foundation. The weekend-long event brought together 14 local participants. And they had intensive training, discussion, and workshops focused on implementing the mental health first aid within the unique culture and context of the Cayman Islands. And two representatives of Mental Health First Aid International actually came into Cayman to conduct those workshops. And Mental Health First Aid is actually an internationally recognized training that teaches people how to identify, understand, and respond to signs of mental health issues. And this is very much like how people go to training for CPR, you know, how to help someone if you see them in distress. And, you know, so people will actually be able to so people can learn how to identify symptoms of mental health issues and actually help that person, whether it's a friend, family member, a coworker, or a community worker. And with the successful completion of the mentoring week, the Allison Kelly Mental Health Education Fund and the Alex Panton Foundation are now preparing for the full rollout of mental health first aid training across the Cayman Islands. So that's a very good thing to be developed there. So I guess they're going to actually be able to train people, common people like you and me, to recognize, you know, some of the symptoms that a person is having problems and to be able to help them out. We need to take a break, or we want to take the call? Okay. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today. Oops, missed that one. So we go to the break then? No? Okay. So yes, we were talking about this mental health first aid program. So they've trained people, some professionals in counseling and mental health, and I would suppose that they are going to be able to now train people here in Cayman, you know, how to help out a friend or a family member who is experiencing issues. Now, this should be able to go very far in the community, because if people can recognize this, before it gets too far, we can certainly, ourselves lend a hand to someone, or know how to counsel them into getting more professional help. And getting that help is the key from keeping people from going further off the track. When you see them starting to go off the rails there, and you want to try and keep them on, help is the key here. We do have a caller. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today. Hello?
Hello, yes.
Yes, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Oh, my apologies. I was watching you on the TV. I didn't realize. My apologies for that. I wanted to chime into the mental health discussion.
Go ahead.
Let me turn this. Yes. I wanted to say, Mr. Glidden, Cayman is a very, very, very small jurisdiction, very small, very personal. Caymanians historically are not used to, sharing their private business in a capacity such as taking advantage of the mental health resources that are available. So this is coming up on a relatively new way of life for a lot of Caymanians for, say, like maybe the last 20 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we're getting, I believe a lot of people are getting more accustomed to it, but they are still not as open to it as we would like to have our people. And, we have to be careful with the media. I am of the belief, and this is only my personal belief, that they are, the media and the social media platforms are almost becoming what I like to describe as homegrown terrorists, where and I know that's a strong way of describing it, but it is for me, knowing what the definition is, it can be attributed to that in some senses, because we have people that are literally afraid. I mean, literally afraid to live their life in Cayman on their own terms, for fear of not being outed. And I'm not talking about how the word outed is generally used. I'm talking about outed in terms of on their own private terms, because there's a difference between reporting and revealing information that is of interest to the public, and reporting and revealing too much information that has nothing to do with the public, right? And then the way that it's reported also. Almost as if it's scandalous, devious, and so when we look at those things contributing to what's happening here on the island, in addition to high cost of living, this is a topic we have every month on the talk shows. The cost of living in Cayman, especially for Caymanians, our people, rent. I saw a studio apartment this weekend, what they call an efficiency, $1,100 for an efficiency. $1,100, $1,200, $1,500 is maybe an average salary for a Caymanian on a monthly basis. Who can live off of that? I don't have the solutions, but I can say something needs to be done. Our economy is booming. Everybody wants to get a piece of the pie. Everyone from all over the world, and their people here like to say, and their grandmother is coming and migrating here. And I don't know how other nationalities, I know some particular nationalities live in impoverished circumstances, and they group up and live in. Caymanians can't live like that. This is our home, and we can't live like that. Other nationals come in and they can live like that, and it's not right. It's inhumane, but it's a choice that happens because they want to be here and take advantage of the dollar, right?
Yeah, well, even living with other people in a small place is maybe better than what they left.
Probably so too, yes, sir. But I'm not going to think that.
No, I mean that's why they're willing to. That's why they're willing to do it.
Yes, I see the point you're making. That's true. That's absolutely right. And then there's other people that are coming here, and I'm not combating against people coming here to live and work or whatever, right? I'm just comparing it to what's happening with our people and what's contributing to the psychological and emotional makeup of our people and how people are feeling hopeless. Even families who have two income jobs are feeling hopeless, and going to the supermarket, when their kids are becoming young adults now, and how are they going to be able to go out and pay rent? And they're not getting good jobs. The salaries and the incomes are not being risen for Caymanians.
Oh yeah.
But they're being risen, and benefits and incentives are being given to persons overseas to bring them into the islands. I mean, I don't know what the government is going to do to fix it, as well as wanting to take advantage of the financial, economical boom that the country is in, the islands are in right now. But what's going to happen? I was sending a video around this weekend, and Monaco was one of the countries that coincidentally was on there. And for me, I always think of Monaco, how Monaco was evolved to become that jurisdiction where all the wealthy people flock to, the indigenous people
all the
that
yachts.
are there. Right. And the indigenous people that were there, they're basically non-existent, and for me, I think that's how we're going to be in Cayman in another few years. And how do we fix that?
It happened in Hawaii too.
Okay.
Where the local people got priced out of being able to own a piece of land.
Right. So how do we fix this? 11 people in the government, 19 people overall to make up the collective government. How are we going to fix this and then still take advantage of the economical benefits? And again, it goes back to the reason why I'm calling. These are the things that are affecting our people, not only, but immensely are the things that are affecting our people, because people are feeling hopeless.
It's very hard for a young person to step out on their own now.
Yes.
Because just like you say, the cost of a small apartment is sky high. It's the demand is there, and the demand is there because we see those apartments. We see more and more keep being built. And
it's as if the government, and I'm not saying this government or the previous ones, I'm talking about along the way, governments have been afraid to touch landlords and tenant issues. They're afraid to touch
rent control?
Rent control, but rent authorization, authorizing rent, price control in terms of designating certain areas in the island as protected areas for just certain price brackets to be land to be sold for certain price brackets, or houses to be built only.
Well, that's a touchy area there.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm saying certain people governments don't want to touch this. But if you're saying Newland, certain areas of Newlands, okay, well, you can't build a house no more than $450,000 here, because that enables a Caymanian, young Caymanians or persons that in that financial bracket.
That's
So it's a lot of things that we need to look at, Mr. Glidden.
It's very hard for a government to just make a proclamation and say, this is going to be the price for this. I mean,
right.
We are in a free market, free enterprise, and there's a lot of factors at work as to how things are priced.
Right. Well, it's done almost indirectly now, where we have covenants and restrictions in development.
Well, yeah.
I know.
That's a whole different thing.
Yeah, but it's still kind of like a similar setup. And I know in the States, the States is a major, vast expansion of geographical location. Geographical set out. But in the States, for example, in Florida, there's designated areas that you can't. You as a person wanting to build a 3 million home cannot go and purchase land in that area to build a 3 million home. It's restricted. So something like that, I think, would be good for Cayman also. That kind of gives a kind of price control there. But it was just off the top of my head. I was coming up with different strategies. But like I said, so many different factors are happening today that are contributing to the mindset, psychological and emotional well-being of people. And then you talk about people's private lives, why they're doing this and that. That's none of our business. Who is doing whatever. We're talking about the things within our control publicly that the government can try to help to change. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand that. I mean, there's a lot of pressure coming from all different angles at you.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I mean, just going to the grocery store, you hope you have enough money to pay the bill when you come to the cashier, you know.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you so much for the call.
Yes. We need to promote more, you know, for people to take advantage of the counseling and the call lines.
Yes.
These call lines need to be available. I should say should be available for almost 24 hours. We can have call for more volunteers to man these lines. But again, like I said, our people are not historically open to those things. They're very private, and Cayman is so small. People don't want their business to be spread about. So how do we overcome that also to get our people to know, well, you know, there's places you can go for support, you know? So I'll leave you with that, Mr.
All right. You take care. Thanks for calling.
Bye-bye.
I think we have a WhatsApp call. Do we? No? Okay, we lost that one. Okay, so yes, that is a problem in a small community that people think even on was it Cayman? You call Cayman, and people might be hesitant because they'll recognize my voice or something. We have to establish confidentiality. We do have a caller on the line. Good afternoon. You're on the air. You're on the air. Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I was listening to your last caller. I appreciate her bringing that up because it's a real issue that we got here in Cayman. You know, I being Caymanian as well, noticing the effects of gentrification. You got neighborhoods in West Bay that have been using the natural beach accesses that are available to us that have been used for years, and buildings now are going up blocking those accesses. And then worst part is you got roads now that are being used and developed but no access through that road. So you got,
I mean, it's a private road.
No, it's not. It's when I say that, like, okay, you got a development on one road, and that road extends to the next road, but there's no entrance from that next road, which means it's blocked.
Okay.
So now
there's only one way to get in there.
Yeah, which would mean you have to go all the way around or something, but that's besides the point. One of the reasons I say that is because we always have an alternative way of getting to the beach in West Bay. And some of those alternative ways have gated accesses now. So
but when those buildings go up in West Bay, when they put up a building, are they leaving access to the beach on the side?
None at all.
Because as far as I know, they're supposed to do that.
They should be doing that, but they're not. So I want to know where the restrictions are in the planning and development of these places to reserve the rights for people to access their beaches.
Well, there is a regulation there. There is a law. I'm not sure if it's a law or a regulation, but they are supposed to leave a footpath that you can access the beach.
Well, we got to make sure that planning takes a look at all of these places physically, not just going in with the recommendation of a planner or whatever developer that comes in saying they know the place, but then they haven't even consulted with the neighborhood if something that would be of an ideal, appreciative plan to put in place if we want.
But people can go to a planning meeting and object to a development. But listen, it is 2:30. You know what that means? I'm out of time. But thank you so much for calling. Interesting to know that we're not getting beach access when new buildings go up in places that have been traditional places for people to go to the beach. That's it for a talk today. Thanks for joining me and letting me be a part of your afternoon. I'm Charles Glidden. Have a great afternoon.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
Talk Today is also brought to you by Mike's Builders. Call 923-0706. Mike Builders. They make it happen.
So very much for tuning in to Talk Today on another Monday. You're now inside of the PM show with me, Basilia Barnaby Cuffin. We're going to give you some smooth, love songs up until 3 o'clock. And then at that time, we will clock in with the doctor, the doctor. Inside Super Jam. So I hope that you've been having a wonderful day so far. I hope that you had a great lunch because, lunches are supposed to be enjoyable, right? You're supposed to enjoy your food, right? So I hope that you got a chance to just relax a bit. And if you're still on the road, if you're on your way to work, you're on the evening shift, a very good afternoon to you. If you were on the early shift and you're now heading home, thank you so very much for making it the 89.9. Percy Sledge with this one, When a Man Loves a Woman. It's 2:32.
I gave you